Shuntak, today is 17th of October 2020. When I saw in society and when I saw the cycles that they have this kind of big power and uh, they had those times and now this power to doing everything they like and everything they want. I make a thought that this situation is amazing, very big, and no one can help me. First thing that also I make a thought that was they have backup, they have support, and they have people in high society and position all over the places. After many months, some people speak to me and told me there is a big corruption here. Nothing is working. People they work in justice. It's not possible to do their work without fear and there is a corruption in the system because they control everything and good people are away, but they are scared. Many of them, they have families, childrens and other things. But that words goes a small parenthesis because already I saw how big is this system and how much money they laundering. But it's not only that. It's a power of cartels. It's a power of system, and this kind of huge criminals machine that never happened again in this century, and I hope never happen again in the next one. Those days when I saw what they doing to me and what they did to me and what they doing also all those years, I'm making a statement here for one more time. Some people are under activation, authorities and society, but we are not too many. And every day I'm building a new hope here, also from my country, because many people they learn the truth and also they want to change the system. It's not only personal profits or good, it's good about countries and society, health and safety, and many other things. Those days that I'm describing in a previous video, I give up And I mean I give it up because every day they was using new methods that was not possible to learn what they doing before the new hit. And I mean I was trying to understand what they gonna use. They gonna use guns, knives, and other things that destroying people, or a way that already justice and police and criminology know, but was not most of them something like this. Was other kind of killing methods, tortures, and horrible things. For a few days, I was living in my room with my parents. Those days I found some food in my parents, and I started feeling better. But they did this when I found food and was in the family. I was looking every day in the noon and the evening what my parents doing, how they preparing the food, or I was waiting to prepare my food myself. Um, those days I found a way for 10-15 days to prepare alone my food, and make myself and my health be better. They didn't stop the tortures and attempts that I told you before, but those days I was trying also to keep my family together. I mean, they realized that I need support. I'm not a man that uh, is holding from family. I mean, I'm not that man that I was living alone with my own life. I took my destination early in when I was young, but always uh, was close in my family. Those days they took everything, and I was fighting also to keep family together. When I was trying to do that, they was collecting recordings, sounds, and video of my parents' house. I did this. I start uh, see how they moving. The behavior of those people has changed. I mean, they was moving like doing some movements that was not normal. If someone you feel the pressure of is spying your life, first moments and first days is to realize that you feel uncomfortable, you feel pressure, you feel that uh, it's not possible to react in physical way uh, because it's not only the feeling, it's the facts. And in those situations they was trying to inform everyone in this house that we spying you with cars, with signal with two times, one time, with cars outside, with some scams, criminals. Whole feeling of the house was under manipulation and spying. In the center was I was in the center. My parents was not moving like normal people. They was sometimes afraid, sometimes freezing. They didn't spoke to me almost for every day. First days I was inside of the house for more than 4 5 days. They didn't talk to me direct, and they was doing movements like robots. After mafia and criminals was looking that I'm preparing myself, my food myself, or in the noon we was eating all together. Uh, they starting using an amazing stress. What I mean, when my parents are preparing the food, starting knocking uh, kitchen stuff, knives, spoons, and doing an amazing noise. Also, by doing this, they show me several kind of colors: red plastics, orange, green, um, black, white. That was the first time that they was using this kind of situations, and I was trying to think why they doing this. But was the main and the beginning of the structure of later who gonna save my life, who gonna offer me food, which color of cycles, and many other more situations. For many days it was not possible to find peace in there because they didn't stop to doing noise, hit the table, chairs, doors. It was an amazing stress. Of course, I was trying to keep myself away, stay in peace, and wait, unfortunately, the next wave. My instinct was working and working now, and but the fear and the terror was that I didn't knew it. What are the next methods? Because those methods was and it is so clever, and I realized that all this kind of power is in my house, in my private asylum, my parents, in work, everywhere. When I found some courage and some food, I feel better, but I was suffering. My chest, my belly, everything was burned out. And I make a decision. I need to go outside to meet some people and make some fun for myself. I went to a cinema. It was summer to see an event there. When I was there, I realized that some people they preparing the place. I mean, they spoke to people, and after that I saw more than 18, 24 men's in several ages, but everyone was Greek. It was the group was laughing and they informed me that we're gonna destroy you also in film industry. We manipulate the place and we telling to people lies and destroying your name, reputation and everything. I was laughing, but inside of me I was burned out of the system. Next nights I starting went to some music events, I mean concerts of modern music. I drink whiskey. They drop me inside drug, sleeping drug. When I went to my house, in a few seconds, in a few minutes, when I relaxed, I sleep. I wake up in the morning and I was not remember anything. And I was starting living again in a terror because was unprotected. One day was noon and I was in my parents' house. We eat together with my family. I didn't drink anything, just water and food. After more than 2.5 hours, I wake up and it was the same feeling that we are drunk. I mean something, uh, put something in the drink and we sleep. And I said, I'm saying we because I was fighting to start speaking. I went to my mother and I said, this happened to me and I'm not remember. I have the feeling in my nose that someone used drug. My mother said I have the same feeling. I'm not remember. And someone do the same thing to me. We are both under mafia and this kind of method. They starting measure the house of what we gonna do, what my father gonna do, and what were gonna happen next. After I think 1 2 days, maybe more, I was in the bed early in the evening and I was starting shaking of hypothermia. I eat some food, water. I wake up in the morning early, was about 8 o'clock. but I wake up under the same method. I mean, the feeling of someone, the feeling of someone is drunk me with substances. Was the smell here like a smell of hospital smell? This liquid that they're using to drunk people. I was not remember anything, but just I wake up. Uh, this kind of sleep, it is different of the normal. I mean, this kind of sleep has to do, you open your eyes and your intelligence in a few seconds. The normal sleep has to do that you are in the bed and you waking up in second by second in slow mode. When they're using this kind of drugs, you opening immediately. Your intelligence is waking up in a second. You feel comfortable, you feel rest, but it's not like this, it's fake. I wake up in the moment that I open my eyes. I heard someone knock the door outside of my parents' house 2 times with very loud noise. I was like that I don't have my senses, but I found some courage. I wake up. I wake up from the bed, put some clothes, and in a few seconds I went outside. I saw there my father and a scamp. Those kind of two group mafia monkeys, fucking scamps. Was 1 meter 82, black hairs, Mediterranean face, Greek, strong body, black clothes. Was speaking with my father. This man looked at me, was laughing, and he left. Was a message of them that we have the license of your father here to do whatever we want to in this house. I went to the bathroom to wash my mouth, and I saw this. They sleeping me in the house. They came and they using a diamond tool. They came there a team of scamps that can harm and destroy the mouth, tooth, everything system here. They broke my bones here, my ears, inside. When I started washing my teeth, I saw that they use a tool of diamond and they make 2 big scratches in my upper tooths. Was a sign that 2 mafia is scratching me. Is leaving a sign to remember them, and they gonna attack me also to my system here and everything that has to do with my food. I have those scratches until today because they want to remember. I promise you, for what gonna happen to you next days, next months, you will not have any seconds in your empty brains to remember the next day what is your future. You're gonna live with others, but you're gonna live in a place that we're gonna look like your empty brains. All people gonna learn what you did and what you're doing, who you are, what is hiding, and how many times you fuck each other like animals, like monkeys in the trees, that they don't understand what they doing. Just they want to fuck each other and found food. And when one monkey is crying or gives signals to other monkeys of a danger, you are running all together from one tree to another. But in the places that you're gonna go, there is no trees. And there is no places to fuck. You're gonna fuck you, all of you. For people that you listening those video for one more time, please forgive my words, because when you gonna learn the most of the things, you will understand that never I was had in my hand anything to fight them, even this kind of words that I'm using last days. Today they don't understand. Also, those days, nothing. And I know that by using those words my position is not good, but I'm not stupid. I saw and I was living and I'm living under amazing situations. And there is a language sometimes that they understand. And they know also people, that other people, ordinary and good people, sometimes we saying some kind of words with other people in house, in work. But here I'm alone. Please excuse me. Another day was this kind of tortures. They start hitting my mouth. It was a sign that we're destroying you. It was a sign that three white group mafia gonna destroy my bones. Before that, out of the balcony was a comic that mafia told to my parents put there. Was a very big plastic comic, like a doll, that had two big tooth. They put that there because they want criminals and people that was outside of the house with cars and by walk, that next days this man will be like a comic, and we're gonna destroy him and the mouth and the teeth. And they did it. They broke my teeth. They make a disaster of others. And other horrible things. That day I made a question to my father. Tell me, who are those scamps? Why you give the license to them, hurt my life in your house, but my father was frozen, was not speaking, was under manipulation, big threats was in the house, mafia all over the world. My father always was, and my mother, good persons, never hurt anyone, very big uh, relationships with people from society all over, but always was good people and always in the middle position of society. I mean, in money and kind of way that was living, but always good people. The criminals found also the opportunity in this situation, because it was not possible anyone in the future believe that those people can involving in this disaster and later do amazing and horrible things, close their eyes, involving attempts, participate in situations and other horrible things. But those days was the first phase of criminals, how they work and what they doing. It's more easy for them to change a person when he's good, to participate in a crime or crimes involving in criminal cycles, because they hide so much the methods that no one is possible to believe that those people are participating or involving in these crimes. They have an amazing structure, and this parenthesis is big how they work. Most of the times is blackmailing, money, promise, and other things. But those days in my family in the beginning was blackmail and threats. Later was offers and many other things, but not to me. I mean offers. For me was a direct contracts of they ending me. Some events may be varieties in dates. I mean, happened in different dates or continuously, but everything are true and facts. I think those days I changed again and I went to my place, my house. My windows are was shield. by years. I mean, 4, 5, no, I mean, yeah, 4 years before with steel and metal was not possible to have entrance from there in all of the windows. The only entrance was from the main door. They didn't stop torturing me with everything, and every night I was exhausting and lost in a fear, and that every day and every night I just said, please take me, I cannot handle anymore this situation. I want to live, but it's not possible. Please take my life. I'm living in peace. One night I went again to a music event because I didn't give up. Every day I was fighting to be out of the house and do things, but I was suffering also because of manipulation of people. They starting change the environment everywhere. It was not possible to communicate with anyone, and if anyone was approach me was between 1,000 people, was only 4, 5 people. All the others was starting playing a theater, moving fast, using some strengths, rude words, offense, and other things I'm gonna explain later. One night I went to an event, music event, then I went back to my house. I returned. They use again drug, hypnotic drug. I wake up very early in the morning. It was about 5:30 or 6 a.m. in the morning. Outside was almost dark, and the first light of the day was beginning. I wake up from this kind of sleep, but that day the smell is in my nose was much more. Was a feeling of here is something uh, um, that they using in hospitals. I didn't drink before. I'm never drink too much. I just drink one whiskey and goes the simple measure. So wake up, my eyes open fast, and I saw outside of the door living 4 strong men's fast in shadow, but I was so tired that was not possible to give full attention of my senses what is happening. I was very drunk of mafia. For one more time, fear was in my life. Mafia took me for my place that night before I wake up. Those substances, they have accurate time. I mean, They know exactly what time the victim is sleeping and what time the victim is waking up. But that day, something went wrong. I mean, they had a delay of what they did, and for a few seconds I saw them leaving from the house, leaving fast. That night they took me from my house. I was under hypnotic. They took my body in another place and they make different kind of surgeries. That continue for more than 8, 9 days. I stopped drink next days, but they use food and water. Day by day they made me different surgeries. They surgered my eyes, they broke my bones here, they made surgeries in my ears, in my tooth here. They use like a movie, something like it's injection. Together they put nanotechnology stuff inside the skin, and together in the same way, in the same time, they use uh, uh, a few uh, dose of things that you don't feel the pain. I mean, you wake up, but in topic, you don't feel what they done and what they doing. It is something like last year's we see in the movies. Those monkeys and sick animals, they put me a stuff that is a GPS tracking body position. They made a LAN, read to criminals LAN with my eyes. They put an device that is working in high frequency and take energy from the body, also from ears. They start in capture what I'm see, what I'm talking and what I'm listening. And I'm gonna explain later also here how many facts, events and proofs I have and what they doing. Last days, next days, they did the same, but those days they came to my house some monkeys that they want and they like to uh, putting out their clothes and their fucking dicks, and when the victim is sleeping is going near to him or her, uh, they playing their dicks, uh, they taking photos, uh, they doing gestures, and they have an behavior like They are animals before and after they fucking each other. I was and I am straight, and was not possible to destroy me. I mean, as a man. They saw that, and after facts and things that was starting to collect later, I understand they afraid to rape me. Because already I was starting day by day speak a little. The whole town was upset, and that day when I realized that those thugs and those animals are coming to my house, I went straight away to authorities to inform that one of this kind of group want to destroy me as a man and want to rape me, and I made all necessary things to authorities to give attention because was also one of the horrible attempt and threat against one human being. After those days, they were starting in my room, in my house, live close of other men's as they did doing. Also, they did before here in Europe, in Germany, was the first level of two criminals group mafia and methods. It was not possible anymore to live nowhere, also now, because there is no human being to live under these kind of situations and all day smelling those animals and those dirty scums and methods. My whole body was like a fire gun place. I mean, all kind of mafia starting shooting to my life in those kind of horrible situations. My words here are limited. My things that happening are limited. Feelings are limited. Statements are limited. Next days, when I was going to my work, starting appearing to me mafia with Ford Focus cars, red cars, criminals and scams that was walking, and they starting doing and threat me with movements in their eyes. I mean, they use some people that some of those they was their eyes was covered with white uh, things, like they did also surgery. Other times they was covered only one eye and the other eye. That was a meaning of that your eyes and your ears now are belong to us. What you see and what we gonna happen to you if you're gonna talk, you're gonna lose your view, you're gonna destroy your eyes, and we open and close the circuit of your eyes and ears. Was in the street every day dozens of scams and people. Day by day, my feeling was more and more to live, more and more to stay away of this situation, and was a reaction of my whole world to find strength and stay alive. Because every day I was realizing that they was taking everything from me. My body, my health, my work, my friends, my family, everything. Sorry that I'm talking in this slow, but I'm tired and exhausted. But I'm always who I am, the same person, the same face. One day, after a huge amount of X-ray and attempts and tortures, I was walking like I like sometimes in the evening in the town and in the street. I enjoy the lights, but that night, for one more time, was ready to illuminate me. Sometimes my experience all those years is that when someone, and I mean thousands of them and criminals, they changing your life, the logic thing is to do what you doing, what you did all those years before. It's not possible to use this kind of life. Sometimes you forget, I mean, you're going to do some things, to drink a coffee or a beer or a drink. You want to forget, and you're thinking that no, this is not something again in there, I mean dangerous substances, drunk, poison, everything. That night I forget, and I was after a pause of them, I forget, and I took a beer from a bar. They opened the beer in front of my eyes. I drink the beer, was about 10 o'clock, and after a few minutes I was starting walking to go to take my car. Was not my car, but was a car of family. I mean, everything was okay. Was my car before, so I forget and I drink one beer. I was near in my a place. I found in a hotel. I found a hotel, and I decide to go there to sleep. I was ready to fall down in the street because I was exhausted, so tired, more than 60, 64, maybe more days with with a few days sleep. I was sleeping some days, but even then they torture me when I was sleeping, and it happens here many times in Germany. Shock is amazing because you wake up and you are ready to die. It depends what kind of body they hit, and situations and complexity. I mean, uh, how much energy gonna use, method, and many other things. When I went to that hotel, I said, "Hello, I need a room." The man that was working there, they showed me two keys to choose. First key was 3 number. The other key was 6 number. The results of the number was white and black. It was the beginning. They inform me every day those cycles that we exist and we have colors and numbers to be in knowledge of our victims and witness. I didn't give intention that night, but I chose the key with the result of the number was white 3. I went to the room and in a few seconds I sleep. I lock the door. In the morning, early, very early, was about 6 o'clock, maybe later, a few minutes, I wake up and I wake up in terror because it was the same situation. I was drunk, but that morning I saw blood in my hand. In my finger, they use injection. They took blood from me and they delivered to my blood a cocktail. Was the next day's attempts to murder me. I went to the mirror. I was clean to clean the blood in my hand. Was nowhere blood, just in my hand and some in the bed. I was asleep there alone. I was in terror. I mentioned something that day that outside of the window of this hotel, some people inform me of the situation and for what gonna happen next. I mean, I was starting listening people that later gonna involve in my life and situation, but those people has to do with the underworld, and I knew it before. And I mean, I knew it not because I was working with them or participate. Was people around that everyone almost know what they doing, but no one was speaking. As I am, uh, because it's the way. I mean, sometimes, most of the times, people they don't want to fight without reason underworld. And that was my position all over the years, but after those situations, things changed. I wake up, I saw the blood, I saw that they something did to my body. And I was starting walking. After 10 minutes, uh, I lost 90% of my view. Everything was blur. My heartbeat exceed more than 138.45 beats per second per minute. My breath changed without reason. My whole chest was starting burning. My muscle system, my hormones, places that produced hormones, and I was ready for one more time to die. That was continue for more than 10 minutes. I said to myself, please, I said to the God, please take me now. I cannot live anymore. This is new. I don't know what they're doing to me. It's not possible to survive. I went to my office. I was blind. My breath after that changed. I mean, I was breathing uh, very deep and very with a different kind of frequency. For example, if someone taking 100 breaths for 10 breaths, 15 breaths per minute, they force me to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breaths only in a minute. It was something like for what is happening to me is handling by the cocktail that they put me to my body. I went to my office and I fall to the chair, ready to die. My heart was so exhausted that it was the same thing that it's the last moment of a human being that is dying. And you know already, unfortunately, many of you, because maybe you saw people in that moments, that is the same thing. Breath is less, heart is stop working, and a human being is closing the eyes and is dying. Was the same, but was real. After 1 hour about in my chair and in this horrible situation and grave, somehow I wake up. And I mean wake up. I found courage, and it was for one more time a miracle. That was I'm alive. First thing that I did is that I was wanted to see the sunlight, to see the day and listen to people and take breath, because for one more time I was alive. I went outside and I was starting working for a few meters, and I went in a small kiosk. There was a woman, was blonde and bronze hairs, middle hairs. Age was about 38, 42, 44, 1 meter 70, strong body, wearing sunglasses, brown sunglasses, but his face was like she's a killer woman. I mean, I felt the hate, I felt the disgusting smell, uh, and I saw many things that has to do with those kind of dangerous sick animals. It was the first time that I saw her. She approached me. The kiosk was small. She came in my right side. Was another person there, and she told me, "Now you belong to us, to scientists." She was holding, I think, a laptop. I take a look at her. I didn't have the courage or the strength to respond and say something, because it was not the first day that all those criminals scam starting approach my life. Those days more than 100, 140 different criminals and cycles, but most of them was dangerous, and it is dangerous people approach me direct. Even if I'm gonna make a thought to say something to this woman, was not possible to do anything, to call for police. Nothing was working. I just look here with my eyes, and I make a promise to myself. I will never forget, you will never forget. I'm gonna wait for the day that I'm gonna see you living like a rat, eating each other. The conversation and the meeting of this killer woman was no more than 35-40 seconds. He left away and I went to my job. Other people was there and look here, one person, one woman, what she said to me. She said to me, what they did, first thing that they did was a test if my heart gonna survive, but was direct attempt to destroy me with heart attack. The cocktail that they used, they was so strong that they changed my chemistry of my body in a few minutes. They took blood because later they wanted to make to compare results. For anything that I'm statement here, most of them are in Greek charges here in German, complexity. Others, some other things are for first time. Another, I'm waiting for the day that I'm gonna speak to International Criminal Court or International Human Court or European Human Court, Court of Justice, or outside of Europe. Next days they change my chemistry of my body. In any place of my body that I have the system that can produce hormones, everywhere, in organs, in hands, kidnaps, everywhere, goes under burning. I was trying to buy some refreshments, liquids, coffee, sealed food, but for what they did, they make a reaction of the food. I mean, most of refreshments, coffees, milk, food, there is some substances that they are unique for everything and they are compatible with health and people. But 19% of those food and drinks and think they starting have amazing reactions with myself. Also then, also today, I'm not allergic of anything. I know that many times I have my exams. Also, a mother born me, and that mother, when she took me in her hands, and after days, They told him what I have and what I don't have, and I born as a normal human being with a good health. They change everything to me. Next days in my professional uh, social account, they go starting doing me friendly request. Many people that have to do with scientists things. I mean with chemistry of body. I mean biologist. I mean very specific laboratories from all over the world. Scientists, uh, dozens of friendly requests. My profile never has to do something to do with that because it's a profile like a photographer, videographer, monteur, last year's filmmaker, film director, nothing. 99% of my professional account, more than both 9,000, 10,000 people. But my professional has to do with my people from my work, some politics, some friends that I know. Nothing has to do with those people. Uh, those days was a sign not that we playing your life in a Bitcoin, but in the opposite side we care about you, and now you're suffering, but now you have some friends that they're interesting of you and things like that. It's also a main structure until today that they think because they taking everything for you and then they giving something, they think that they can joke me or they can give me uh, happiness and tension and but uh, they are so stupid and morals that they believe so much what they doing, also many lies that they doing, that it's amazing. They believe so much things that they doing that they know that this is only the truth word because they born and they raised in that word, and that's crimes. And I think most of them they work from very young age in this business. Later I saw other bosses, men and women, teaching teenagers, men's and young women's and people in the system, and was so blessed and so they had so pleasure of what they doing that they think that they doing the good thing, but they produce people and they in this kind of disaster of evolution, but they think they doing the right thing. uh, it's amazing. Was I think end of August that summer. I was in my office, something happened, and accidentally I cut a little bit my hand. I took some cotton to cover the scratch, and I drop away the blood in the garbage. My mother was there. I told him, please take those garbage and drop it in the street of the big box because I cut my hand, and there is some papers also here, drop it out. He took the bag. He was moving like a robot in the shop, in my office, and was holding the bag like this. It was a movement to see other people that is something is holding, that is has that is important. He dropped the blue plastic bag in the box of garbage. After a few minutes, a red old Toyota Corolla handbag, model of 90, 99 or 97, very old, parked outside of the big box, was red, and the color of that car was like other cars, I mean, with blurry paint and dirty car. Was a sign of the car and the driver that no one can touch this big garbage of what is in there. Later that man took the cotton with my blood and they give it for examination to separate in secret laboratory and take results. After that, they delivering data to underworld, because always they make measures of the victim and the witness, but the beginning is victim. Day by day, those kind of force, I mean dread people, starting doing movements, informing each other what they gonna do next and what gonna happen. When I was young, after 10 years old, maybe 13, 14, my parents give me everything that they can do to grow up good, an honest person, always say the truth. Also their parents, and I'm proud because I took so beautiful things. When I was young, my mother told me again and again, I want a favor from you because you are a great child. Never take any kind of drugs. Always be straight man, respect women's, and never be a pimp. This is shame for a human being. Those words when I was young was very strong, but I'm not judge them because they did the best until the day that they participate in this disaster of my life. And of course, I did those advices. I keep myself away and many other things, but I was never informed of what kind of criminal cycles and cycles exist and why they are quiet. And why after those years they inform me that those people are exist and now destroying my life. In my life, those days, 2012, 2013, was a huge connections of thousands of people. Years of photographer. Since I was 6 years old, I took my first picture. Since then, I never stopped being a photographer. All those years, I work honest, good collaboration with hundreds of families, photos of hundreds of people, children's, social events, weddings, sports, baptism, freelance photographer, landscapes, millions of pictures and hundreds, thousands of people from Crete, Greece, all over the world, and 99% of them we respect each other, and most of them they have to say good words about me. One day in my office, my mother, that she gives me those instructions, starting talking with me with amazing rude words without any reason. I mean, without any reason, I didn't give any point, or I didn't give any theme to do this. One day she started talking me like, now you're gonna wear next day's clothes like a woman. You're gonna put in your body things like they wearing in Moulin Rouge women's, and she was talking straight to me like I will be a fag. I look at her and I said, are you crazy? Tell me, what are you talking about? Why you offend me like this? I'm dying every day. Who they are and which persons are change you so much, and tell me, because you know already that I'm trying to protect everyone, and front of me you are all of you, and I'm the last and I'm dying. She was starting laughing, but that day I realized that was not any more possible to communicate with no one of them. This was the first structure of the upcoming situations that gonna was following in my life, and that was also my worst moments and worst situations that a human being can be under those. Monkeys and criminals was took my reactions after those words. They doing always this. There is an action of them, there is a reaction of me, a reaction of them, a reaction of other people's, and that has a chain of elements that work each other like a moving machine. Next days, day by day, without speak with no one, without call in with mobile my phone, no one, outside of my house, starting watching some people that was under using of drugs. After a few meters, appearing to me two men's, starting follow me. Was not speaking, was holding a mobile, but was thugs. And I mean thugs in a rude way. They was people with not normal behavior, and please excuse me. After days, they approach me also scams. They have to do with children's, that they have pleasure to see children's or do bad things to those. For one more time, I have my responsibility of my words and what I'm saying here. And those words are true. Day by day, this pressure was more and more. I changed places, I switch off my mobiles, I close any electronics, I start and change some cafe, but was approaching more and more, and always new persons. Was separate teams. First team was some strong scams that they want to break you, to force you, don't speak. The other team of scams, they are people that they want to fuck each other, and other they using by others because they want to force the victim to feel like that human dignity is under force and threats, and after that they starting using words. Those days start happening a different kind of level and an amazing structure that was more big and big, and was also was not possible to breathe, because they follow me almost all the day. When I was in the street, in the morning, in the noon, when I was in a cafeteria, when I was in a restaurant, everything. Those days I start thinking that the person that was familiar to me and made me they introduced me the situations and told me later you're gonna see in how many women you're gonna sleep. He didn't tell me that for many months all those sick animals and people gonna approach me in my life. Uh, this structure need so much time to describe you the methods, the threats, the danger and the horrible situation that I need many time, much time, and I must stop. Always those empty brains inform me that they are two group, because when two men approach me, another car, red, black, white, Focus, was approach me and use the klaxon 2 times. Mobile organized criminals was active. My mobile was red 100%. Any formation of electronics was in the air, and my life was uh, in the air 24 hours, like a point in a live map of the street and of the city, of where I'm going, what I'm saying, what I'm seeing, and what I'm doing. Social media of me starting using with elements, I mean photos, meaning of pictures, timeline, letters, who starting had connections and impact in my life. For example, was screening in my Facebook a picture that was, the meaning of the picture was read. For example, was two men or something else, but the structure of the pictures and the meaning and the language was every day updated. I mean, was something like has a level from 0 to 100. Level was more easy to understand, 100 more difficult to understand. Was like my life is in trap in social media, reactions of the pictures had reactions of real people outside, but was they starting build an amazing structure of direct threats of my life. I make some, to be sure, some different actions. I try to check from other account for a few minutes from my mobile, the same account, and the first minutes results were different. Was something like it's clean. When I was walking my mobile and my social account, everything was in trap. I realized day by day that this is a more and more complex, has more and more impacts in my life, destroying in my life, and everything are starting working like a live magnet and an alive organism that born cells of human beings and situations that is destroying my life with horrible uh, ways. It's simply to make a thought. You see these actions Why you don't drop away your stuff, your mobile, your accounts, everything? You know, when some person or a human being is this kind of trap, first moment is to communicate. I mean, you need to do the ordinary things. Send an email, send a message, do some chat, meet some people, flirt, uh, usual things. But when you are in that kind of traps, you need something. You need to read a book. You need peace. You need friends. You need things that you like. Everything. But was another issue to see what they're doing and how they work. Because I never stop last 10 years looking for my exit and people that they gonna work with me and destroy this system that is threat and amazing threat for our life and many other reasons for what I continue doing many things, and not because I want it or want to be in this trap and be in danger and living like this. I never choose of myself. They took my life, they dropped me in a grave, they dropped me in a system, and more than 58 criminals cycles, they want different things from my life. They eating every day everything from me, taking amazing amount of money, and I'm in the position that you're learning every day. Thank you for watch this video. I'm gonna continue soon. My words here and facts and situations are limited for obvious reasons, and I hope soon all this ends. Have a nice evening or day. I don't know what time you're gonna see this video. Tschüss.